And now, let the buzz begin.
This is on repeat in Frank's hotel.
Oh my gosh. With woman number 3. Frank ain't missing a
Listen,
beat.
you can't hate on Frank. He found out his heart got broken.
So what, then you go up and
He gonna break some off.
underneath some other chick?
Yeah.
Frank needs to take a beat. He has so many kids all over the world.
He probably does.
Terrible.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us. I'm El Marie, and it is just TK and I here tonight. So Howard and Ronnie will be joining us next week. And it is Ronnie's birthday, hopefully, today. So happy birthday, Ronnie, if you are watching us. You guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at El Marie TV.
You guys can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. Woo!
Take a sip of water.
Take a sip. A lot of tea happening tonight.
A lot of tea happening tonight. So it opens up with, flashback of little Mary Jane having to answer the phone and being a witness to that whole just ring
Right.
and hang up. She's like no one's here. And so for me, I thought that they were gonna show Mary Jane catching her mom cheating with Frank.
But no, because he hadn't seen her for 40 years.
Yeah.
So they
I
didn't
just don't
actually
think all the time.
But I wonder if he's been calling periodically over the course of 40 years.
I feel like he's probably been calling
Frank
that
needs
time.
to stop.
Yeah, because then they flash forward to present time, and the phone is ringing again, and Paul answers mad she ain't here.
Right.
Basically I kicked her out. I put her out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, I don't know. This is just a whole messy situation, but I'm glad Paul got some balls and kicked her out. And I don't know if we're gonna skip to, but the last part. I like Paul. Paul's gonna be getting it in. Paul's gonna be getting it in.
So
He's tall. He's fine. He got that. Usually the men with the gray hairs, they distinguish.
Yeah.
He holds out his family. His
He
kids
still
are
got
good.
it.
He's gonna be getting it in. So much punani. Crazy.
But I don't want him to go bad because that's
He's not
usually
gonna go
what happens.
bad.
But sometimes it happens.
Oh, he needs a little. He
you-
probably didn't go through his hoe phase, so he might go through his hoe phase now,
Okay.
which he still
Maybe
could.
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's okay to go through the whole phase.
Yeah, as long as you don't need Viagra, you got
And
it.
then, but he might at this point.
Shade.
But Frank popped up at Helen's hotel like clockwork, though. It's like, oh, he put her out.
I can't deal with the thing with that. It's kind of like, as when you first start dating, you're always gravitate towards the bad boys, and it just feels like he's always gonna be that guy. Like, okay, he's 20 years sober. Congratulations, kudos to that. But it's just kind of like he should just, even though that was supposedly the love of his life, I don't know if that relationship would have worked out anyway.
Yeah.
Like he would have got. It's kind of like a shiny new toy. It's like or that thing that you've always wanted. You wanted it for years and years and years. You finally get it, and it's great. Or like a brand new car. It's great. You wash that car every day. You make sure nothing. And then after about a week or two, or maybe a month, you're good. Yeah, your car's dirty. You haven't washed it. It's. I feel like if he were to get with her, and if she did move to Louisiana, or New Orleans. He
now, even if they got together now. I don't even think it would last, not at all.
It's the fact that she said no, and that same day he found how did he manage to find a woman so quickly?
True. Well, because she was always around, but he wasn't really probably what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. The fact that he could do that, if he were that heartbroken, he were that invested, he would at least take 12 hours. I'll give you 12 hours.
Yeah, and I feel like it's on both of them that it for reasons why it wouldn't work, because also on Helen's part it's this passion, she loves this, and the things that she was always pushing Paul away for would be the things that she would want from Frank.
Yeah,
so it's it's one of those things. Yeah, it's you realize you don't know what you have until it's gone. And all that she'll realize the small things that Paul did for her that Frank clearly is not going to do. Because even now he seems like he's still that same type of person, that same player mentality, not really serious about things. You know what I mean? Wherever he lay his hat, that's his home.
Who's gonna know where they live in? Is she she's a stay-at-home mom, but the fact is that Paul took care of her in not in just a financial way, in an emotional way. He always, he was there for her through all of that. And you can't find people to do that on a regular basis.
Yeah, you can't.
So it's just kind of the fact that he did that despite it all. The fact he is oh my gosh, what's Jesus' stepfather's name? we should know this. We both should know this. Joseph. He's like Joseph from the Bible.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's not like Mary. But you get my point. Like he knew it wasn't like an okie doke.
Right.
Like he knew the baby by someone else, and he loved her so much, or he fancied her so much. He was willing to do that despite the fact that he didn't know what the outcome would be. Where he could have found a woman that really loved him, and that could have been a totally different scenario.
And totally, he's definitely a good man because he never took it out on Patrick. He definitely raised Patrick and loved Patrick like his own. And if we think about it, like let's say back in the day that Helen stayed with Frank, had Patrick with him. Patrick was already going to have this addiction. You know what I mean? So you have this addiction and you have a father who has it as well, who's also struggling with it. Like Lord knows where Patrick would be right now. You know what I mean? Probably not even here.
Right.
So it's like you have, and at the time with Patrick, he was going off on like last episode, I think he was going off on Paul, like all these things and you almost kicked me out and blah, blah, but that was tough love.
Right.
Because I have to get you on the right path. Where the other one, they probably would have been, snorting up some stuff together.
Exactly. And the thing is, too, even with the addiction, he had a really great line or a great view of what life should be. You know what I'm saying? Like you have really great parents that show you the way it should be. So now you can see that. But if he saw his father doing all that stuff, then, he definitely would have gone somewhere else. So, it
would have been like okay to him.
Kids.
Yeah, that too. He would have been more of a mess.
I mean, but that scene where he knocked the hotel and Frank had another chick. I mean, really, Frank?
Come to Frank. Come to Frank. Come to bed, Frank, baby.
You couldn't even wait. He's like, your mother really broke my heart. Oh, like, did she really now? She broke your heart that much. Oh, okay.
Soon as he hung up with Helen, he called that other lady like,
she was on speed dial. Get out of town, Frank.
Like, what's the old name? Like, Irma. Come on here. Ain't that the hurricane? That's disrespectful. I think that's the hurricane's name. I'll take that back. That's disrespectful.
It is.
My bad.
It's the old name.
I get but before we go into Mary Jane and everything, just also with them, I think you wanted to touch on this, but like how Paul took a lot from her, from Helen, knowing that he knew she was kind of pushing him away. He knew everything and he stayed there until now. And it was like, he was like, even laughed, because she even said that, like, I pushed you away for so long, Then after, like, by the time they had PJ, she was like, okay, yeah, I love him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm in this marriage. And he's like, oh, okay, I mean, that's cool and all. Thank you. I'm surprised that you're admitting like all of this.
Classic. I love it.
Yeah. And she was like, I'm not going to be with Frank. Okay.
Yeah, Helen is so dramatic. Like and that's the luxury of having a good husband. Like she was able to be dramatic, and he's like, "All right, Helen."
Yeah.
Like he was able to just cope with all that, and then it's come to the point where it's like, okay, you can't even see what I've been doing for you all these years. And now you like not only that he came back, then you're gonna pretend like nothing went on. Like I know you slept with him. Like that was. Like, what else do you want me to do? That was a gangster move right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
so he was
go
like,
on,
okay.
go on, Paul.
But yeah, I still want this divorce.
Yeah.
Like, we're done.
That was beautiful. Like, because I almost thought that he was going to go back.
Yeah, because he apologized to her, and I was like, that was big of him.
Because he's an adult.
Yeah.
This is what adults do.
True.
The thing is, in relationships, stuff happens, and
he's a mature adult.
He's a mature adult,
and still
in mature relationships, stuff happens, and you have to kind of step away from the relationship and see it from that other person's perspective, and you have to see what parts you played in that. And I think with Paul, he's always been that person. Like again, if he took some other, he got married to a woman that was already pregnant. That's already maturity in itself. So it's just kind of like for him to do all of that, he kind of stepped back and was like, all right, well, what else do you want me to do? And then he probably realizes that, because I'm sure women hit on him all the time. So he's probably realizing we're in a new era. I got a smartphone. Yeah. All I have to do is swipe left or swipe right, whatever it is.
Right. Like, he'll bounce back.
Yeah,
he'll be fine. He'll call that lady from church that came over that time. He'll just call her.
Oh, Sister Rochelle.
Yeah, she's probably already lurking. She done heard the tea already.
Yeah, she already heard it.
So she's just waiting for the dust to settle, and then she's about to pop
and move into the house. Because Helen don't have no house no more. No. Oh, my gosh. It's terrible.
Be awkward. Yeah, so she popped up at Mary Jane's house, and Mary Jane's like, well, what's going on here? Like, why are you staying here and not at the hotel?
Right.
Why do you guys need 2 hotel rooms? So she has to tell Mary Jane everything.
I thought Mary Jane was gonna like break down a little bit more.
A little more.
I felt like she did a little bit, but I felt like she was calm? Like she kind of knew?
Like she said, she had a revelation. And so I think for her, it was more like a light bulb, and that also maybe like there's nothing really wrong with her. Like she kind of knows now like what her issue is. So it's not really her. It's some things that she saw. She never really dealt with it. So now she kind of maybe she knows how to move forward. She knows how to change now.
But she's always knew what was wrong with her. Like she knew even before her mother telling her. She had referenced that she likes sabotaging relationships. Even the thing with Lee. So the thing is, if you know that's your pattern, then even though you might not have known exactly what caused that, why didn't you seek counseling or something else to, like, if you truly want to change?
If she wanted to change, I feel like she thought it was her. You know what I mean? Like, even though it is a part of her, but it's like, it's something that she saw, and subconsciously she just kind of started to do it as well.
Right.
Like, I guess just knowing the reason why now, you know, the why behind the what, it's like, okay.
Yeah, but do you think she's going to get better?
I hope so. I think so. I hope so. You know, so
because she's been doing the same thing over and over and over again.
She has.
So it's just kind of like somebody who always, for the last 10 years is saying they want to lose weight, and they've been the same weight for the last 10 years. It's like, can you really help yourself? One. And if you come to the point where it's like, okay, well, I really want to lose weight, but you really don't know how to do that, then you need to go somewhere or to someone who knows how to help you to get to that goal.
True.
So I feel like with her, like she already knew what was the problem. Now she has the answer to why she's like that. But what is she going to do with that information?
Yeah.
So I like, well,
you also, I feel like in a situation like that, you need something to kind of happen to you to kind of push you that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like now it's seeing that, and with her mother, like, okay, she didn't really, well, she went the correct way. She went the safe route, but she never let go of like that passion, and always felt like she was missing out on something and things like that. So I feel like with Mary Jane, like I realized like I'm not gonna miss out. So if I'm gonna, you know what I mean, I'm gonna make this relationship work, whichever relationship I'm in, I'm gonna make it work. I messed up, I let the good one go. So hopefully this one's good enough as well. You know, that passion is there for her and Justin, but hopefully he's also that good man.
But that's the thing though. Like I feel like with Lee, he would have treated her like a queen.
Oh, definitely.
And with Justin, I feel like he's still gonna treat her well, but he's not going to treat her like a queen. No. Like, she's going to only get so many chances where he's like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
So I feel with that scenario, like, she's going to get the passion there, but how long does passion last? Like, for people who've been in long-term relationships, like we're talking about 20 years, etc., it's like the ones who are in healthy long-term relationships, from what I see, it seems like they're just comfortable in their skin, and they're comfortable in the relationship as it's progressed. Obviously, there's ups and downs, but there's that almost that slow burn where it's like no matter, there's always the constant there. But if you have that, like, you know, that fire and that passion, is that gonna really last?
That's not gonna be the one that lasts. But that's what I mean. I'm saying hopefully she can kind of get past that and maybe turn the relationship around and dig a little deeper. Like, they both need to just really open up to each other, and then maybe they can find that steady place and that on the other side of the passion.
Because she's an
alpha,
so
hopeful with
and
them.
Justin's an alpha. So
true. So no one's ever gonna back down.
Nobody's ever gonna back down. And Paul and Lee are similar personalities, where it's like, okay, I acknowledge, like, Paul's not a punk, but Paul's like, I acknowledge, you know, Mary Jane, or I acknowledge Helen for being who she is, and I'm going to accept that and work with that. Justin's doesn't seem like he's about that
not
life.
At all.
So, and this is speaking from experience. So you need to have somebody. You need to have somebody who's like, all right, I know this chick is crazy, but I can work with it.
And can deal with the crazy without walking out.
So, like, I don't think... I think...
And can check the crazy without making her feel...
exactly.
Like some
so I don't think Justin's capable... Not necessarily I don't think Justin's capable. I don't think Justin doesn't have the time or the patience.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's certain things you just don't want to deal with. Justin's not that. He doesn't seem like that person. Like, all right, we've been through this. We're going through this again.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going through this again.
That is the thing. Like, she can't really put him through anything else.
No.
Because one more thing and they're done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that how he just left for Paris like that.
Yeah.
Like, no nookie before you leave. Like,
he needed a moment, though.
Yeah, but
I can understand that.
Just because you need a moment doesn't mean you need to.
But
you need to put some butter on that sandwich before you leave. Like, you just can't leave. Like, how are you gonna do that? I don't know. For me, there's some rules and regulations. Like,
I feel like that's the other way around. Like with a woman, like you can't let the man go out there like that. But that was like his choice. Like, yeah, like he's like, I'm whatever, because they want to. That's their power. So they want to feel like I'm gonna leave you without too. I feel like that's the card he pulled.
Rules and regulations go in my household. Mary Jane and Jessica. They won't.
Yeah, they got a little different dynamic going on.
I guess so.
Yeah,
it's like never go to bed upset. Yeah. Never leave the country without getting some nookie.
Okay.
Just saying. Rule number 203.
Oh my goodness. Well, let me see. Where do I want to go now? Let's stay on Mary Jane.
Oh, with the eggs?
Yeah, with the eggs.
Oh,
that hurt my heart.
Oh my gosh.
I actually was like kind of getting a little emotional in that scene. Like, I felt so bad for her.
Well, I mean, she knew what he was going to say, given the fact that he's wrote a whole show about her.
True.
So he's obviously bitter at that situation because he probably gave her some semblance of his heart. It was like a quick relationship, but he probably gave her a lot that he didn't necessarily. He introduced her to kids and all this other stuff. So she knew what he was going to say, and she totally forgot about that. Like,
yeah, she did.
The fact that if they were still together within, let's say add a month to that, so 9 months plus another month, kind of getting everything together, she would have had a kid, which is what she wanted, and a safe relationship and all this stuff, which she would have had that in less than a year.
Now that makes it, when they broke up, that makes that, when he said like, oh, you'd be a horrible mom or something like that, that makes that sting even more. Because I forgot, like I was asking you, I don't know if I just forgot about that part or if did they show them?
Well, I think it was after the kids came. I don't think so. I don't remember. But I think it's after the kids came, and then the baby mama wanted his sperm, and like she wasn't cool with that because she wanted kids. Right. So I think it was around that period of time that it all happened. But again,
But that's a blow, though. Like, okay, you have these options. So you guys have an embryo, like basically a baby that's ready to go. Right. And now you've broken up. And then the thing is, because at first I was like, oh, well, maybe, it might be kind of shady, but maybe she can still have a baby. But they both have to consent to, implanting that baby. Yeah, it's his seed as well. So.
Which now that whole, like, I know we definitely not going to get into that, but the whole abortion thing. Yeah. Like, when you see it in that light, I can kind of see why people are very passionate on both sides. Because if you have to sign off on that, and the baby don't even have like a tail. Yeah. Like. Yeah, true. So I don't know. That's a very interesting, something we both found out. But I don't know. Because does Justin even want kids? Oh.
Well,
I feel like they haven't had those conversations.
They haven't had that conversation.
Like, hey, because she found out about the girlfriend after the fact. Yeah. After the whole social media thing. Like, does he want kids? Like, has he ever wanted to propose to somebody? Yeah. Like, what's all your, like, they
really haven't had those deep conversations. Yeah. Like I said, I want them to sit down and kind of just let all that out. They need to have that conversation. But she did put forth her little insurance, like she said to her mom. Like, so she, picked out a sperm donor. Right. Because she had 2 other just regular eggs that hadn't been, implanted or whatever, I guess the word.
So she has a sperm donor.
So she has that backup plan. So if Justin doesn't, or if they also break up, like, okay, well, she at least she can maybe have some kids. She won't totally be alone.
I don't know. I was actually thinking about this the other day about women who are so driven that they kind of date, but they date more for, all right, this is, the relaxing time, but I'm going to concentrate on my career, versus women who either been able to balance it or they just kind of lucked out. Like, I know a lot of women who've, like, just really concentrated on the career, and they're doing so well, but their love life just sucks balls. And it's just kind of like, what do you do in this era? It seems like we are at a deficit.
Yeah, it's tough because I feel like I find myself in that position, like, what am I gonna do? Right. You know what I mean? Because I am so single. So it's like I ain't
even touching that anymore. We've already been through a lot previous to the show. So we just gonna.
I'll put all my cards out on the table. If you want to pick something up, feel free. Or DM her. You're right. Don't start that shit. No. but yeah, so you think about those things. Mm-hmm. You know, you still wanna try to date, especially like in this city in LA. It's the worst for dating. Yeah. So that sometimes it comes across your mind like, well, what do you do to plan for the future? Do you try to possibly maybe, you know, do it yourself, you know, to have kids and things like that? Then on the other side, for me, what I feel like is like, I want my child to have a father. You know what I mean? That they know in the household, hopefully.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that kind of keeps me away from that right now. I just still try to hold on to hope.
It's tough. The combination of LA and, you know, being a driven person is definitely an interesting dynamic in today's, and this, especially too, I think I was watching Bill Maher and he was interviewing somebody where they're saying people in like bigger cities like LA and New York, it's like the fact that we are comfortable with on Halloween dressing up on Halloween and we have people who are in their 20s and 30s and that's fine. Like that's not like 30 years ago that wasn't a thing.
No, like we can't dress up.
I mean, I do. I'm not even.
I'm like so ashamed now. I'm like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah, but the thing is, that wasn't a thing. So it's just kind of like where
are we going?
Yeah, we're prolonging our, because now, so we're a kid. When we were a kid, our parents take care of us. But now we could be big kids and we could take care of ourselves. And now you can do things that you wanted to do as a kid. Like if you want a small toy car when you're a kid, you can get a big car because you can afford it. If you want to go, you know, you're looking at the map, you can go and do all that stuff now because you can afford it. But you're kind of like pushing off the whole thing of becoming an adult.
Like your real responsibility.
Yeah, so, you know, it's definitely a different dynamic. But I don't know. Now I'm wondering, too, if Mary Jane would be, like, is she just in love with the thought of being a mother or actually, you know, wanting to be a mother?
Wanting to be a mother.
Because I went to my hairstylist's house 2 nights ago. She has 2 kids, 3, and I don't know. I don't know if he's even 1 yet.
Drove you crazy?
It did drive me crazy, but it also made me realize that, you know, in theory, it's great because I want kids more for genetics. So I'll just put it out there, like, you know, totally selfish reasons. But, you know, I also realized that it's going to be a lot of work. And it's going to be that type of work where it's just like, you know, when you go to the gym, you really don't want to go to the gym and you forced yourself the whole time to go to the gym. You get out of the gym and you're like, oh, that was good. Like, that's going to be the same process of a kid. Like, oh, yeah, all right, here we are. All right, they're 18.
I think that is motherhood. I don't know. We don't know.
We don't know.
Y'all, so
I'm just guessing.
Get mad,
but it's just like, oh, they got to 18, they safe, they got a job. All right, I'm good. Like, yeah, we got good booty here. We great. So it's just, that's what it feels like. You put in the work. So I don't know. She's, because you're thinking of the career. She's the anchor of a morning show. So that means she's waking up either at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, very early.
So, you know, now you're looking at nannies and all this other stuff. And again, I don't think she had that conversation with Justin. So
she hasn't. Yeah, that's a good point too. I don't know. I think it's just
kids.
the idea of it. He doesn't seem like a
kid
dad
guy.
type.
And then too, he's looking at climbing the corporate ladder as well.
Yeah, you have both of these people who want to be very powerful and successful,
right?
And someone has to take a back seat. First of all, I believe in a relationship, it's hard to be two power couples. Like it's hard for them to work. It's rare. So someone has to take a back seat, and then of course, if you have a family, someone has to take a back seat, and then that someone more than likely is going to be the woman,
right?
You know, unless she has the better job. But in this case, they're kind of about equal. What and what. So it's going to be Mary Jane.
Yeah, and even if they have nannies, if the kid gets sick, someone has to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So it's like even if they have all of that, somebody's still going to have to man the ship with everything. So I don't know. That's going to be an interesting thing. And I just think for storyline, I don't think he's going to last. I want him to.
Yeah, I don't really think he's going to last either, but I want him to. I was making up excuses like, well, maybe he wasn't in this episode because he had something else to film. Like, scheduling didn't allow it. But it's like, for the story, the way it happened at the end, because, you know, then Mary Jane
Texas, right?
because she has the conversation with her mom, and her mom's like, "Girl, go get your man." I was like, which man are we gonna go get though? Is she gonna go apologize to Lee? Lee is done, huh?
Lee
like,
is so done.
Please.
Lee has a girlfriend. He is done. That girlfriend is not letting go.
Oh
of
yeah,
she just sold a show.
Mary Jane up.
Yeah, let me tell you, people who sell shows, they make a ridiculous amount of money. A ridiculous amount of money. A ridiculous amount of money.
So that's
that girlfriend. Yeah. She ain't
letting that go.
She's not letting that go anytime soon.
Well,
ridiculous amount of money.
She texts Justin.
Just saying, actors make money, but you sell a show.
You sell a show. I need to go.
And then get another
Anybody
credit.
selling the show out there?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. So. And you get credit.
We'll talk later. So, yeah, so she texts Justin.
Well, that's what you should do. I kind of feel, I was talking to a friend about that today. She was in a little bit of a issue with her significant other, and they've gone several days without saying anything. And she was saying, well, I'm always the one to say something. I'm like, well, if you guys have been together for a certain amount of time and you've been doing that, then that's just your role. It sucks, but you've been doing it, and that's what he's accustomed to. So I don't know what their role is, but it's just like, yeah, I mean, if that's your man.
Yeah, like, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Once you're in, you know what it is. You're in a relationship. It's not like he's like hardly paying you any attention. You're still chasing him. That's
and
a whole other story. Yeah.
The flowers, that note from the flowers from Justin really got me. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was sweet.
That was.
And with him, like, well, so she texted him like, okay, I'm gonna come to Paris. Like, I need to see you. It's been too long. He's like, don't bother. The first one, and I was like,
I know.
But then he's like, I'm on my way. Yeah, I'm at JFK right now, right? I'll be there in a few hours. Gonna be so good. Right? He should have shown up at that door though. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards like maybe they won't make it last for them. Because I feel like in that moment, I feel like he should have popped up at the very end of the episode, or maybe it'll be in the opening credits of the next week.
Seems like so cliche though.
So what? That's what TV's about.
Yeah, but it's the TV's kind of like the fine balance. Like, you know, when you have just enough cheese. Like the flowers was just enough cheese. Yeah. And like even the text message, like, oh, I'm gonna come because I would do something like, look, yeah, it's been too long. I'm gonna be the executive on this, and I'm gonna be coming down in 2 weeks. Like, figure it out. You figure the rest out. I'll be there. Yeah. This is the time. So I can definitely like appreciate that. But yeah, I like that. It was cute.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the conversation with the kid and everything else might be a bit much for him, and they're gonna have to make a decision because I don't think.
I feel like they would need that conversation in like a month from now. They've been through a lot. Like, let's just enjoy us.
They should have already had that conversation.
At this age, I do believe so. But now, since so much has happened, it may feel like more pressure again. Like something that it just would be more pressure. I feel like for right now, a little bit of time, just tread lightly and just kind of be cool. Just be in the relationship.
So do you think it's because of the situation with the girlfriend who passed away? Because I feel like they've dealt with that after. So he sent her the obituary, and I felt like they dealt with that after the flowers were sent, because she was truly remorseful. Like, she didn't want anybody going after her even before he left. So I think, there was no shade in that area. So I feel like that's kind of been already talked about.
Yeah, but I also just feel like he's sensitive. So even, you know what I mean? Like, it's been talked about. Yeah. So he's not at 100% yet. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, so exactly. So if you hit him with something else,
but that's a sign for her too.
True.
Like, somebody who shuts down on somebody who is so, after certain things, like, it's gonna wear on her eventually. Like, you can't have somebody who like shuts down like that, and then on top of that, they shut down and they disappear.
Yeah. That's
like, it's one thing to shut down and just be there. All right, well, you're not gonna say, all right, so I'm gonna give you your regular 2 days. Yeah.
And that'll add to her crazy, because Mary Jane has had some crazy moments. Gosh. That'll definitely add to her crazy.
Everybody, men and women, have their crazy and their baggage. It's whether you want to take up that person's baggage. Like, oh, okay, you do this and this and that. That I can't deal with that. But everybody has their issues.
The thing I would just say, like, if it doesn't work, like, just please find someone for Mary Jane. Like, she can't. I feel like this show, I don't know how many more seasons we'll have, but it can't end with her being single. That's just going to be depressing.
What if she's single and she has a kid?
Okay, well, give her something, though.
Like, what if she's single and she ends up
having... If she's single and has a kid...
The sperm donor, and she ends up having a kid, then she realizes how difficult it is, but it is what it is.
Okay, I was like, she don't give the kid back?
I mean, that'd be kind of messed up. I was like, I'm good. Can we figure... But yeah, I like, why not? Because I and of course I don't know any of the numbers, so please, put it in the comments, all that stuff. But I think the rate of divorce is high, and from what I could tell, men are remarrying faster than the women are, and there are a lot more single women. So it's just kind of like, yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. If they give her a child, I'm okay with that. Yeah. But it's like, I just don't want her to be alone.
But what if she realizes she doesn't want a child?
No, you don't want to be like.
But what if she's like? What if she? Because again, you have to.
You have no legacy of not like.
Well, yeah,
you go and then that's it.
I definitely agree. I'm all about legacy. Like I said, I want kids to pass on my genetics. My kids are gonna be in the Olympics or some form of something. there's, the reason I want that. And of course, it's a selfish reason. But again, you have to determine why you want to do the things you do. So does she want to have kids just because that's the thing women should do? Or does she really want to have a kid? And if that's the case, why do you want to have the kid? Because she doesn't really kind of show off motherly instincts.
She doesn't really.
So that's, well, why, okay, you don't want to have a kid. Or, okay, why do I want to have a kid? Because that's what I'm supposed to do, or what, she has to determine
She was good with her niece that time, Patrick's youngest daughter.
Yeah,
when she had.
You're always good with them when you can hand them back.
True, but I feel like she
good with kids.
She didn't feel awkward. It didn't feel awkward.
Right.
She didn't feel out of place, and
so that's the thing, though. It's just kind of like, why does she want to have kids?
Listen, she's gonna have a man or a kid. She needs to have one or the other. That's where I'm at.
I mean, she can have a vibrator and a puppy.
No. Sorry. But anyway, speaking of boss women and everything.
Updated every 6 months. That'd be a good business idea.
Update what, your puppy?
No, you get like a different vibrator in the mail like every 6 months.
Oh.
Like a different one.
Okay.
Yeah. You just pay into the service.
Yeah.
It's like,
Body gets used to things.
Yeah. What do you
want? Kara.
Don't be stealing my idea, yo. Documented.
Just like one of those box things.
I'm just
6
saying.
months.
Yeah, it's a different one. Yeah.
I was gonna say something else. I'm gonna go past that. Anyway, Kara. I kind of want to say it yet.
Just what you say it.
Because you can get like a mold, right? Because your body changes, so just to make sure that it's always gonna have a good
you can
fit.
Do that.
You know what I mean?
Get a mold,
mold of you, so that fits well.
Like what? But like, it shouldn't unless you're adding to the vibrator and if you.
Well, I feel like as you get older, won't things change? Or maybe like if you get older,
I don't know.
You might maybe need something smaller. I don't know.
I'm
not there yet.
That's a good question.
I'm just saying.
Because I don't know if you do
things
if you
change,
don't have kids.
Right?
I don't know.
Okay. So Kara wants to be like the main boss. You're gonna be like, what are they talking about?
So that's a really good question, though. That'd be a good selling point, though, for the 6 month dildo box.
Right? Someone let us know. But anyway, but yeah, so Kara wants to be the big man in town or the big woman in town.
Yeah, well, I mean,
take Kara's job.
She has her kids. They're in Atlanta. They're being taken care of by a good father. She realizes that, and that's the thing. She at the end of the day, she realizes that it's almost career before family. She loves her family, but career is what kind of wakes her up in the morning.
Yeah.
So, and I think Mary Jane needs to look at that and determine where she falls into that thing. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely. So Mary Jane was happy that she wasn't going to make the choice, but according to the previews for next week, she has to make the choice between Justin and Kara.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be tough.
I don't know. Bros before hoes. Might have to go with the girlfriend.
Might have to. Because Kara's going to always be there.
Right. Like, what if they break up?
Yeah. And Kara's always going to be. And you see now that she literally will always be there. You guys just really went through something. She was ready to throw the friendship away. Right. And then you guys got back to what they used to be. So she's definitely always going to be there. And also, I mean, you're gonna really want. She's been there from the beginning. You're gonna want her in your corner if that's your career. You guys are gonna be working in the same place. Because once again, what if they break up? Justin seems like the spiteful type of person.
Oh, definitely.
No,
Scorpio.
He doesn't seem. He is because that's what he did to her the first time. He got her fired. So he is.
He didn't get her fired. He was pushing her to her greatness, and she just didn't rise to the occasion.
Right. Okay. So he got her fired. So yes, so yeah, that may not work out in Mary Jane's favor. Yeah, I would push for Kara.
Yeah, unless
secretly though, because then it's like he finds out, and
yeah, but I think everybody's gonna know that she has to make the decision.
That's gonna
which I don't know why it would be just her. Wouldn't it be her and the other anchor?
It should be. Maybe they left that part out. Well, we'll have to wait till next week to see that part.
I don't know. You have to pick Kara.
Yeah. I want it for Kara.
Unless
she's worked so hard. Yeah. She's sacrificed a lot because, even before that, before they moved to New York, when they were in Atlanta, she had to deal so much with her kids even saying that to her. It's one thing if you have young children and maybe they don't understand, but your children get older and they call you out to your face, so that was hurtful. So I just mean like maybe it should be worth it, not to say like that's over your child,
right?
But at least like your sacrifice was, you're getting something out of it.
Yeah.
Basically.
If he hasn't given her a ring yet, then he's replaceable.
Yeah. But also, what about him though? Because he's still like, when his mother came to visit, when Orlando's mother came to visit, she talked about kids. Now, did Kara say the shop was closed, or she's not going there anymore? She just
let him know. She let the mother know that she had 2 kids already. But it kind of feels like the same thing. It almost feels like that Demi Moore Ashton Kutcher situation. They were together for a little, probably under 10 years, maybe 7 years or something like that. And then, he said everything was fine, there's no issues. And then they break up, and then all of a sudden he impregnates Mila Kunis.
Yeah, twice.
Right. So, I don't know. I feel like it would behoove Orlando to have kids because he's a professional baseball player. And why wouldn't you want to teach your kids baseball?
And spread those genes, like you said.
I'm all about... when we get hit by this nuclear bomb, and
listen, you need to be athletic. Yes,
you can't be running from the zombies if you little on the just start getting on the treadmill, y'all. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
No, true. Seriously, I think about that. I'm like, oh, I gotta get in the gym because if I run from anything right now, I'm not running very far.
Well, first off, make sure you stock your apartments. This is totally off topic. Make sure you have water in your apartment. Make sure you have food in your apartment. Make sure you have batteries, candles, all that stuff. Like, just forget about the nuclear part. Like, if we get hit by an earthquake or any of those natural disasters, gas, all that stuff on the ATM, make sure you have some cash on you because that's all going to shut down. If you can afford a regular phone, because your cell phone service is going to be torn down too. Like, all those things, like, that's what you need to.
Yeah, and I'm so bad with that. I say it all the time, and I haven't done it. I'm going to get me a little emergency kit.
In your
like
car,
Justin. Yeah. Justin is prepared.
Yeah, in your car, make sure you have blankets in your car and all this other stuff. You never know.
Yeah.
Never know.
You need to always be prepared.
Just saying. Yeah, it's the Girl Scout in me.
All right, well, I guess a lot is going to happen next week. And I also want to see where they're going to go with Patrick with this whole thing. Because now, and I like the way that they went with that, the fact that they let him know that Frank didn't know either, so he wasn't kind of holding this animosity, like, oh, you knew, you walked out on me, you left me, so at least he didn't have that burden on top of the fact of finding out Paul isn't his father.
Right.
Now that his father didn't want him, but he didn't know. So I like the route they went with that. So I'm just interested to see how that's going to go now that Frank is about to disappear again.
Yeah, I
feel like he's gonna disappear.
I feel that too. I feel like that was closure for him, and he can now be sober. Mm-hmm. Like I think with the whole thing with his addiction, he's wondering, all, like he said to Paul, it's like all these years, I didn't understand why I was going through this and also this stuff, and he's looking at his parents like they were the best ever, and now he realizes where that connection's from. Mm-hmm. I feel like with that, he kind of realizes, okay, this is a genetic thing per se, and obviously when he went to the hotel, he saw, Frank is just being Frank, and he knows who his real father is for the fact that Paul did all that. Yeah, I think that gave him closure to be like, nothing else can shake him. In his sobriety. I feel like that he's good to go now. Yeah, that's good. That's true. And because he was on the phone with Mary Jane, and he was about to call his father Paul, and he stopped himself and went back to calling him Dad. Yeah. So I mean, would he rate like? True. Yes. I mean, it definitely wasn't Paul's situation to call it, but he raised you you never felt any different. Right. So yeah, but I think that just goes to the fact that since he's acknowledging that, like you said, it's like it was a closure for him. He's good to go. This is my father. Yeah, I'm good. And the fact, I still can't get over the fact that Frank's like, yeah, your mother broke my heart, and there's some chick in the bed, like. What do you want to do? I know, but it's just like that in itself. Like if he opened the door and he was crying or whatever, then I think that might have dragged. What's his name? Yep. The brother. Patrick. It might have dragged Patrick into the situation, like consoling him or stuff like that. But Papa was a Rolling Stone. That was a song that we should have played. Yeah. That's Papa was a Rolling Stone. He's good. He's take care. He's not worrying about me, even though. And I think with that situation too, as he was explaining it, it felt like, oh, that shiny toy. It's like you just wanted her.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, now I never will know how it feels to be with her. I'm
be with her.
Really?
Like, you didn't really. If you really, really wanted to, though.
Right.
You know, because it's been 40 years. If you really, really wanted to, you could have popped back in like year 10 or, 5.
And you could have had all that situation, like everything taken care of. Like, okay, we have the house, we have this, I have everything set up for you, right? But it's like he had that like chick and how many of other chicks in the background because it's like, do you really have set up or did you just want to test the waters?
Right.
Oh, I want to see how it's like dating.
He's one of those guys where like he knew Helen was a good one, and if he could have like if he didn't go enlist in the army and everything, he would have been it would have been such a bad relationship because he would have just held on to her because she was good, didn't want to let her go, but never appreciated her.
And then she would have stayed anyway. So all bad.
Yeah, I'm glad she went with Paul. That was just a better choice. Ladies, safe is best. That's what's best. Is that not just safe sex, but safe love.
Is this what we're
safe
deciding
relationship? On? Yep, that's what I'm deciding on.
Okay.
Okay.
Safe is best.
Y'all better listen to me. No. Well, it's going to be a lot going on next week. So, like you said, we're going to see what's going to go on with Kara and Justin fighting for that top spot.
I don't know. I think that would be a good way for Justin to exit.
I'm not ready.
Mary Jane picks Kara. Justin's like, why?
We only get one season of Michael Ealy.
I mean, I love me some Michael Ealy too, but yeah, I'm sure he's going to go on another series. We can watch him there.
Okay. But that would make sense.
Speaking of series, as always, we'd like to thank you so much for your support. And we actually have some exciting news.
Oh, what is it?
About AfterBuzz. Whether you're a new listener or a longtime AfterBuzz fan, you know that we're the world's #1 destination for TV coverage. Well, starting next month, we'll be expanding our content beyond just after shows to bring you a whole slate of new content formats and guests. Fancy. Our after shows aren't going anywhere. They're simply evolving. Most of the shows you love only air for part of the year, but during the rest of the year, these shows have news constantly breaking that you want to talk about. So as the ESPN of talk, we know it's our job to cover it. That is true, especially with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Well, and oh my gosh.
Talk about them all year round.
And Gabrielle Union, look her up. Her and Dwayne was on vacation.
Smoking. Body.
Oh my gosh. We have in-depth coverage, shows coverage for comedy, drama, animated, truly anything you can imagine. Nothing is off limits. Woo. And given our no limits approach to TV coverage, we realize that sometimes it can be hard to find the show you love. And we listened. We are restructuring the website, shows, and our platform to make it easier to find what you're looking for. Our YouTube channel will be divided into 9 sections by genre: dramas, comedies, reality competitions, wrestling, sports, animation, sci-fi, fantasy, superheroes, red carpets, and lastly, our own featured and original content. It's like a Hulu. There's a lot to be excited about, but it won't happen all overnight. As we develop, we'll be experimenting to cater to your TV desires. Which means your participation and feedback will be essential to deliver the custom shows, to keep up to date with everything, to be sure to sign up for a monthly newsletter launching in September, and check out all our AfterBuzz shows weekly, or AfterBuzz Weekly with Megan Strider.
And that's a new show?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Make sure you guys check that out.
Damn.
That was good, though, girl, because that was a lot. Literally, that paper was from top to bottom.
No practice.
Cold read. Because you cold, girl.
Woo!
No.
I just packaged that.
Well, you guys will love the new layout. If you have some comments and everything, like they said, just whatever show you're watching, leave your comments. If you want something to improve or change, just let us know, because we are working on all those things. And once again, I'm Elle Marie. You guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Elle Marie TV.
My name is TK Trinidad. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. Get you guys next week. Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.